What up? What up? What up? This is Reg League Podcast, man. This is episode number 43. If you new to this show, I am Randy Little. I am the one that hosts. If you like what you're hearing, if you like the discussion, if you like what we talk about, find us on social media, man. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. We're at Rec League Pod on Twitter. Um, I'm not gonna front though. Most of the social media discussions just like anniversary posts and whatnot. On this episode, for movies, me, my guy E-Sig, and Nick Goodman, we talk about three of our favorite directors, three of our favorite movie directors, and give our three favorite movies per director. I got my guy O Pizzle Orlando. He comes through for sports, and we talk about the NBA bubble, if we think it's gonna actually go through and finish, and if it does finish, who we think is gonna win it all. And then it's not a podcast if I don't spit no bars. And then old man Lawrence come through and we talk about that the Skyzoo Milestones project. So the only thing that's really come out on Blu-ray and DVD lately is Trolls World Tour. Theaters still aren't open, so there's nothing to recap or talk about upcoming Blu-ray and DVD. Scoob is about to come out, and then, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because August is around the corner. But that's it for a quick intro. You know what I mean? Like, the world is still too broken down and not back, to normal to really get into poll questions or upcoming releases like I usually do, like I used to do. So when I return, I'm gonna have the boys with me. We're gonna talk movie directors, man. Rec League Podcast. Stay tuned. All right, I'm not gonna do my usual cornball intro. We're gonna celebrate the return of Nicholas Bartholomew Goodman, middle name pending. I don't know. This might be your first show since the infamous animation preview we did. How awesome that was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Maybe, I don't know. You might have been on one or two after that. And the ambiance, I can barely make out the corner of your room. And then we got my guy E-Sig. This might as well be the E-Sig podcast part 2. A couple things before we get into our favorite directors. One thing I wanted to talk about, Eric, last week that I forgot to bring up was Scream 5. One, like, how do we feel that they're making a Scream 5 without Wes Craven? Two, I'm sorry, like, it's a nitpick for me, but it's going to be weird that it's at a studio that's not Dimension. Nick, start us off, because the people have been dying to hear from you. Not really.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm just excited for a Scream. Like, as long as they stick to the formula, which they have been, and, like, they're attempting to bring back the cast, which is important.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for it. Plus, it's the directors of Ready or Not, which is super good movie. If you guys didn't see it, I don't know if you did, but it's the tone of that movie would be a fantastic tone for a Scream movie. Like, it was the right mixture of humor and actual like horror, like tense, being in a scary situation, but also like this is so bizarre that we have to make it funny. So yeah, I'm excited. I think you could do it without Wes Craven, as long as, if you're keeping that in mind. Like, would Wes Craven have enjoyed this? Would he have made this way? I think it'll be fine. I don't know about the whole Dimension thing. I was watching Scary Movie the other day, and I was like,
it froze up again.
They put out fun. Or isn't it Paramount? Aren't they doing it?
Paramount picked it up. David Arquette supposedly is already signed on. Nev Campbell's in talks. Courtney Cox is right behind them.
They've got to be. That's like one of the few horror franchises where it's like you you really can't just like do a new cast. Like you can't just do like Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5 and 6, just like with new stories and new cast
every time.
Like the whole point is to keep the thread going.
Yeah.
I don't really know where it could go from 4.
Exactly.
But it's exciting.
Yeah. Now you mentioned the directors, obviously different directors, but is Kevin Williamson coming back?
I feel like I heard he was involved, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, that'll be. I think the only one he didn't write was the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it,
Yeah.
Eric, how you feel about it?
No, I'm curious about it. Like Nick said about the directors. I think that's a awesome choice, but with that, I'm curious to see. I don't know, because I just asked about Kevin Williamson, who could, who else would write it as well as he does.
Yeah.
So, it'll be. No, I'm curious about it. It's we'll see what's what.
Yeah, man. It's like Scream is one of my all-time favorite horror franchises, man. So it's like the boyfriend's parents, the long lost brother, and then the cousin. This is where do you go next?
Yeah.
Long lost brother, dude. That's so
that's so popular.
It's like I don't hate Scream 3. I swear we're gonna take like 2 minutes and bash Scream 3. I don't hate Scream 3, but it's just like, bro, come on. The third movie where this mystery character organized the first movie that snowballed into the second one.
Yeah, and so much stuff from his plan had to go so precise.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just coincidence and he just rolled with it, but still, a lot of stuff had to happen. It was... But I know, spoiler, he was funny, the actor they got...
Scott Foley?
Yeah, Scott Foley, when he was talking to the studio head, Lance Henriksen, and he was talking about the media, like, they called me a pariah. Like, I don't even know what that means. It was... But no, it's not terrible, but it's definitely the weak link.
Being 2000... Being 14 when Scream 3 came out, I always thought the coolest part of Scream 3 was the voice changer.
Yeah, that was... If only it could work like that.
Right.
The ante for this one. It was like the reveal in 2 is good because it's like you think it's their friend. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about it. It's like I didn't think of him because he's kind of a forgettable character. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But then it's like second reveal. Third reveal on top of that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool, okay, that's actually pretty great.
And also credit.
He like takes off his mask and he's like, who else could it be but... And he like, it's like Scooby-Doo. And it's like, oh.
But credit to Scream 2.
Scream 2 was one of my all-time favorite sequels.
Yeah, it was, and it came out so quick, too.
Literally a year after the first one.
And also, they had to change the ending quite a bit. I don't know if y'all ever read the original ending.
Probably not.
Yeah, it leaked. And, so the original ending, what's her name? And I guess they left it in the movie, and they would talk about her roommate. You're like, serial killers are typically white male.
Elise Neal?
Yeah, Elise Neal. She was supposed to be the killer.
That would have been cool.
One of the killers.
She was Billy's mother.
I think the Billy's mother thing was always there, but at least Neil would have been the partner.
That would have been cool.
Might have been. I'm not gonna lie to that.
Yeah, but it's I forgot the specifics, but she definitely was the original. But the script leaked, and they had to reshoot.
Release the Craven cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then let me see. And then I think right after the last podcast, they announced Paramount and Seth Rogen's like Point Grey production studio. Like, this is sacred to me. They're gonna do a new all CG animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I just want to talk about this. Like, it didn't seem like it caught a lot of like news buzz, but I wanted to bring it up because I love the Turtles. Eric, how you feel about a new animated? Do you think Seth Rogen, like being a little older than us, is gonna push for like a more throwback design for the Turtles, or are they gonna do something that the stupid Turtles look like on Nickelodeon today?
That's thanks. Seth Rogen and I are the same age, but
You the old head in the group anyway.
no, but no, I like I think Seth Rogen doesn't get the credit he deserves as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And he does some off the wall stuff, but no, I like that he grabbed the property. I like the animated movie from, was it '07?
Yeah.
Around there. I think it's quite underrated. I like it better than the Bay produced live action movies.
I didn't hate those. I think I was
Yeah.
the only person that really just didn't hate those Ninja Turtle movies.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't hate it. It's just that it came off as real, and it didn't have any, I guess, heart behind it. You could tell it was a.
The problem was the first one is that they stole the ending from the Amazing Spider-Man, and then the second one. The problem with the second one is that coming out of the shadows defeats the whole purpose of being a ninja.
Yes, it's,
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started, but yeah, and the movies for the most part is Megan Fox featuring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
It comes off like that too, and for the fans of Arrow really didn't like
No.
Stephen Amell's he's just whining through the whole movie. I'm gonna be a detective, and I'll show them. I don't know if it was that.
Yeah.
It's just, but back to the thing. Yeah,
He played Casey Jones like a goofy ass Oliver Queen.
Yeah. But yeah, this now I like that Seth Rogen is getting it. It should be interesting to see his take on it, their take on it, whatever they're gonna do with it. But yeah, that's definitely good news. And it didn't get any like shine or whatever. I don't know what overshadowed it, but
Yeah, it's just like yay, new Turtles. Nobody really cares.
yeah.
But like I grew up on Turtles and Batman, so if there's any Turtles Batman news, like I want to talk about that shit. Except for this Matt Reeves HBO Max show because we don't know anything else yet.
Yeah, it seems just not pointless but unnecessary.
Nick, how you feel about new Turtles?
Fine. I mean, like fine. I feel like it's going to take years for it to materialize in anything because of all that's going on.
Yeah, it's probably not really coming out until like 2023.
Yeah, like maybe that's why it didn't really blow up because I feel like movie news in general is just kind of like, oh, cool, yeah, we'll see. It's like the Matt Reeves TV show. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They're like, all these plans for this, and it's like, the movie isn't even kind of coming out anytime soon. So
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's cool. If he puts a lot of his own voice in the script, I think it has potential.
Yeah, like I hope he has I hope he has influence on the writing.
Yeah. A lot of people hated the Michael Bay produced ones because they were so, I don't know, like modernized and like how the turtles look. I almost thought it was the other way. Like I almost thought like the way the turtles acted and everything was almost like loyal to a fault. Like I was always like, it's so classic, like cowabunga, and it was like 2014. Like they're really just doing the exact same thing. Like I didn't mind it, but I was like,
yeah,
I thought I was like, oh, this is pretty classic turtle stuff.
Yeah,
the Turtles in Time.
Thinking back, I remember the personalities were pretty spot on for how we know the Turtles. But yeah, there were complaints about like the clothes and the nostrils. I think Raphael might have had a tattoo, and then of course Megan Fox.
Yeah, it's like they looked weird. I remember thinking Shredder was outrageous. Like that was to me like he had like the spinning knives and all that stuff, and I was like, this is nuts.
Yeah, he was a big transformer. They fixed that up for the sequel.
Yeah, and speaking of in the first movie, that Shredder, all that stuff that they changed with him when he was supposed to be who's my boy? He was still in the movie, but they changed.
I'm blanking on who played Shredder in the first one.
They reshot it.
He was Shredder.
Well, Fichtner was supposed to be Shredder, and then they like switched it up, didn't they?
Yeah, because of fan outcry.
Yeah,
but they were originally like aliens too.
Yeah, that's what Michael Bay. They're just awesome aliens. But yeah, it's yeah, but that's funny about the news. It seems, since we're on the topic, just wanted to throw this in there. Like every little tidbit is news. Like Charlize Theron sits on the toilet and thinks that the John Wick crossover would be cool, and that's not news. That's just if it's in production,
a throwaway comment. Yeah,
it's like just we're asked like, would it be cool if you were in a movie with John Wick? And she was like, yeah, I guess that would be cool.
Yeah,
it would.
Yeah. Stamp it and print it, but but tell me when they're in talks. I'll take the in talks news.
It's like, wouldn't it be cool if Freddy Krueger and like Darth Vader got in a fight? Like, I guess in theory that would be cool.
Yeah.
Breaking.
Lucas says it would be cool.
Stop the presses.
But given I guess the situation where nothing's really moving ahead, people are just grabbing for whatever, news wise. But but those. Yes, Ninja Turtles, let's do it. Like you said, especially if he has influence on the script, or even writes the script. He and his buddy Goldman.
Heroes in a half shell, bro. Seth Rogen's a director, so this will be my lame ass segue. I wanted to talk about directors, and I wanted to talk about our favorite directors. I'm glad I was talked out of our top 5 directors, because dropping 15 movies would take 2 hours at least. So 3 of us, the genius that is Eric Sigmund, come up with this. 3 people, 3 directors, 3 movies from each director. And I don't know, which one of y'all want to go first? Go from 3 to we'll do our 3s. We'll go around and do our 3s. Eric, I guess whoever you got at 3. Nick, you want to go first?
Since good old Nick hasn't been here in a while, let's give him the honor.
Well, he got to go first with the screen.
Okay,
stuff.
all right, I'll go.
No, I was gonna switch up. Like I don't care.
Yeah, I forget. That's all. Yeah. All right, so Nick, if it's cool, I'll go.
Whatever.
He's not gonna be back until like November, but whatever.
I want to go first.
All right, so we number 3, and then list the 3 movies from them. We going like that. All right, cool. So my top 3 filmmakers. Number 3, Tommy Wiseau is laughed at quite a bit, and he should be. But anyway, my list. So my number 3 is I'm going with it's Spike Lee. So, and you look through his filmography, and you realize it's I think we even talked about this on the last episode, Randy.
Yeah.
How, I guess, diverse, for lack of a better word, that his filmography is. But anyway, I'll count from least favorite to favorite. So number 3 is his most recent. It seems like this movie is older than it really is. I'm going number 3, BlacKkKlansman. It seemed like it's older than 2 years, doesn't it?
Excuse me, sir. The Five Bloods is his most recent.
Well, that's true. It's the most recent on the list. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Most recent on the list, 2018's BlacKkKlansman.
Yeah.
And definitely, that's one of his best movies.
Seems like it's older than Book, and they were at the same Oscar.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like, years old, but it feels older than Green Book.
Yeah, and Green Book, get me started on that. No, but BlacKkKlansman definitely. My boy John David Washington was snubbed.
Super snubbed.
But at Best Actor, Adam Driver definitely deserved his nomination, and I think this movie, Green Book. No, this movie definitely should have got. I think Spike should have got Best Director.
Yeah.
Along with his screenwriting. I mean, at least one or the other, director or picture.
Who won Best Director? I'm blanking.
Yeah, I'm
not important.
Speaking about it, but no, BlacKkKlansman. If you haven't seen it, then
was that the Rona year?
Theater.
It didn't come to my theater.
Now, what'd you say, Randy?
I said, was that the Rona year?
Oh man, that sucks. Yeah. So that was Alfonso won it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have voted. I would have voted for Spike Lee. Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, the first time I saw BlacKkKlansman was on Blu-ray.
Oh wow. But I don't know how your crowd was, Nick, but the ending when the series of scenes that closed the movie, everybody was just dead silent. I think that was the reaction Spike was going for.
Yeah, like, it was a gut punch of reality. This type of shit still goes on.
Yeah, and that's crazy. I know Spike has done it in a few of his movies. One that's on my list, but yeah, he just went from like boom, there you go. But no, that's my number 3 from Spike. Number 2 from Spike is definitely a very, very relevant movie in these
Girl
crazy
6.
times.
He ate me.
Oh no, Do the Right Thing.
Number 2? Oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Number 2 out of Spike.
if you know Eric, you know what his favorite Spike Lee movie is.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything I really need to say about Do the Right Thing. It's just this overall
It's really
fantastic
hot,
movie.
and Sal had some good pizza.
Oh yeah, and the late great Danny Aiello, and this should have been Spike Lee's first Oscar win for screenplay.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he was nominated, and his last nomination for a very long time. But yeah, that's Do the Right Thing. Next is, well, Randy
Clockers,
knows what my number 1 is.
Jungle
Next,
Fever.
I think it's definitely, man, there's a lot of good movies. I
Inside
think this
Man.
movie is painfully underrated. When everybody speaks of this movie, they only talk about the performance, the lead performance in the movie. And I think it overshadows the actual movie, which is
From John
like,
Leguizamo.
fantastic. Hey, that's one of the more underrated Spike movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Summer of Sam. But now Malcolm X. And obviously Denzel's performance is Denzel's performance.
Denzel was phenomenal.
Yeah. And but Ruth Carter's costume design, production design, the score. You know, when he's marching down the street, they're going from the hospital. None of those things were nominated.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's weird. I always think when I think of like, for some reason, when I think of that movie, I always think of them walking down the street in those suits, like, doing the arms, and I'm always just like, those costumes, like somebody had to like create that, like that with the hats.
Yeah, the zoot suits and all that. They going and
like that's what I always think of, like them walking. I was like, that's not the point of that movie.
But no, that's funny. But yeah, it's just totally extremely underrated movie. It's Malcolm X, and I honestly believe it's his Spike Lee's one of his masterpiece. I can't call it his masterpiece because people argue with me, Do the Right Thing, and I couldn't disagree. But yeah, those are my.
You know, like I made a whole bunch of lists, and I had that. I think the 3 I picked were the same thing. I think I had Do the Right Thing at number 1, but I think either Black Klansman or 25th Hour was like, I forget.
Now I've struggled with 25th Hour because
so good,
man, and it's super. And nobody talks about it. Nobody, and you throw that monologue scene on him, but that was right there when Black Klansman just knocked it out. But that's my number 3 top director, Spike.
Nick, who you got at 3?
All right. I'm not like definitively saying like these are my 3 favorite directors, but it was like I made a whole list and I was like, I don't want to pick like the obvious choices, and then I was like trying to think of who y'all would pick, and I was like, I don't want to like repeat things. All right. And then I was like, well, these are still pretty obvious choices.
So Michael Bay.
Number 3, I'm going to say Tim Burton. And it's not that he's like the greatest director in history. It's just like when a Tim Burton movie comes out, like ever since I can remember, like being like 3, like when something affiliated with Tim out, I'm excited for it. Like ever since Nightmare Before Christmas, even though he didn't direct that, it's affiliated with him. I'm like, this is great. And then, you know, any movie, Beetlejuice, anything with Tim Burton when I was little, I was like, oh, I'm obsessed with this, I'm obsessed with this. So I'm also going to cheat with my movies.
Uh-oh.
So, because fuck you, I'm in free country. So, number 3 for Tim Burton, gonna ruffle some feathers. I have Sweeney Todd.
Oh hell!
Stupid. What's the feather ruffling part?
Yeah.
I feel like most people would put like Beetlejuice or something like that. Number 3, I have Sweeney. I think Sweeney Todd is like, I feel like people like it. Like there's people that love it, but I still think it's like underrated.
Yeah.
You know, Tim Burton didn't really direct flashy musicals. He did like Corpse Bride and stuff like that, but that's really, that's different. But like, these were a bunch of people that were not really trained in this stuff. Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, Sacha Baron Cohen. Like, these were not musical stage actors.
Yeah.
They took what they had, because like Johnny Depp doesn't have like a big Hugh Jackman type of like showy presence, and his voice isn't that big, and like they took everything that they had and like made it work for the movie like perfectly, in my opinion. Like, I remember seeing it in theater and just being like glued to it. Like, I was like, this is so cool. And just the Tim Burton vibe with it just fit that story so well that it made me wonder like why they didn't do this earlier. Like, why did he do Planet of the Apes instead of this? How did they not think his talent was more suited to this? But yeah, I would say honorable mention might actually be Big Fish. I think Big Fish is his most underrated movie.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I love Sweeney Todd. 2, I'm cheating. I'm going to put, pick which one you think is better. But 2, I got Batman or Batman Returns. I usually rank Batman Returns slightly above Batman just because of how much I loved it as a kid. But honestly, like,
They're both great.
They're both, just pick one and I don't really care. But it's, we've talked about these movies 1,000 times. Like, it's just, at a time when superhero movies weren't even really a thing, to like take the gamble on Tim Burton, who is such a stylish director, and like he really put his own stamp on it. Like, it wasn't just like Batman.
Yeah, well, I'm having phone heating issues, so apologies to the Anchor audience, but Nick was in Batman mode, still in Batman mode.
All right. Yeah, I don't know where it cut off, but we talked about the Batmans. I just said, that he put so much of his own style into those movies instead of just, taking the check, doing a Batman movie, doing a, rehash of the Adam West Batman series, like doing what he thought his version of Batman was. And I love it. I love the villains. I think that's why I always nudged Returns a little over the first one. It's like, I love just the Catwoman Penguin dynamic in Returns so much. Like, Michelle Pfeiffer in that suit with the stitching, like, that's the greatest thing that ever happened when I was like 3 or 4.
Right.
So, yeah, I just, you pick whichever one you think is better and put that as my number 2.
Yes.
For sure. And then number 1 for Tim Burton, I'm not necessarily saying that this is like a better movie than Batman or Batman Returns, but I think it's his like magnum opus. It's his, like, when I think of the Tim Burton movie,
Alice in Wonderland.
It's Alice in Wonderland. It's Big Eyes. No, number 1 is Edward Scissorhands. I just think that he did Pee-wee, he did Beetlejuice, which is probably like 4 or 5. Beetlejuice is like just hovering outside of this.
Yeah.
But Beetlejuice is this crazy work of originality, and that got him his Batman job. And he did Batman so great that he basically was given free reign to do this bizarre story about a guy with scissor hands. And it just works so well. Like, I love watching Edward Scissorhands. Like, as far back as I can remember. It's like getting a hug. Like, I love the movie. I love the whole Like, to me, that's like an awards-worthy movie. I don't think it got like any awards love, but I love like driving through the neighborhood. You see all the houses are like different colors, but they're like the same house, and like just the contrast of like having that big mansion, like that castle, like on the hill, versus the super colorful neighborhood, and like put that directly into the neighborhood and see how people react to it. I don't know. As long as I can remember, like I've always just loved that movie so much, and I think that's like one of the few things where it's like, no, you hand that script to another director and they would not have done it the same way at all. Like they wouldn't have been able. They would have done it. He would have looked different. He would have acted different. Like the Tim Burton Johnny Depp dynamic was
born.
Its most flawless use.
Oh yeah, the first movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Edward Scissorhands. Like it just works. You can't keep being different or adjusted in any way.
Achievable. Nick, you say award worthy. This movie did not get a production design nomination.
That's crazy.
Costume design nomination.
Yeah.
Cinematography nomination.
And in
Best
1990,
score nomination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scores. Yeah.
In 1990, nothing else looked like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a makeup and Lost.
To Suicide Squad.
The makeup is insane.
Yeah.
It's just, that's when I think of a Tim Burton movie, that is what is in my head. He's done so many, and he's done, Nightmare Before Christmas would be number one if he actually directed it, because that's kind of like his style.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just that perfect example of like taking that weird, wacky, like goth imagery and just plucking it right in the middle of that like bright color palette, suburban America, and just like seeing what happens. Like I loved that idea.
Yeah. Can't be too mad at the winner for best makeup that year, Dick Tracy.
Oh, I love Dick Tracy. I rewatched Dick Tracy a few weeks ago. Like, I love that movie. But anyway,
excellent.
So it's my turn.
Oh, number 3.
And I guess I went with boring choices because y'all don't put it out there that some choices are just boring. But
as soon as I said that, I was like, boring was the wrong word. I went out of the box. Like I was more so thinking of what you guys would choose or what like other people would choose, and I was like, I was gonna try.
I'll say more so expected than boring. I know you're trying to. Yeah.
See, like my top 3 are my top 3. They're just my all-time 3 favorite directors. But I think my order is probably what won't make them boring. At least I don't think my number 3 would be expected to be number 3. My number 3 is Martin Scorsese. And
wow, unexpected.
Dick.
Actually, number 3.
I'm real interested in what movies you got on this list.
I thought that would be your number 1.
But I think y'all can guess. And see, Eric, in his disrespect of going from 5 to 3, completely just shat upon the building legacies of Ryan Coogler and Denis Villeneuve.
Top 3.
But my third favorite Scorsese movie is The Wolf of Wall Street. It's DiCaprio again getting snubbed for Best Actor. It's, Jonah Hill showing that he can actually act, even though Moneyball was like 2 years later. I think Jonah Hill took like this massive pay cut to even be in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's the star-making turn of Margot Robbie. It's a 3-hour drug trip. Like it's so chaotic and it's so just bang, 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 bang. It's like you're on the drugs with them. And for whatever percentage of it is accurate, it's one of his most entertaining movies.
Yep.
Absolutely.
My 2 and 1 are interchangeable, but I'm gonna say The Departed is 2. Mm-hmm. But it's just so well told. It's like, there's a mole on both sides. They don't know who each other are, but the bosses know, and just the way it plays out and the symbolism, and again, like y'all said earlier, we talked about the Batman movie so many times on this show. We've talked about The Departed so many times on the podcast that everybody that watches and listens knows we love The Departed. Like, there's no bad performances. It's Scorsese finally got his long-deserved Oscar. I love The Departed, man. I could watch it every day.
Right now.
Yeah. Fuck the show. I'm watching The Departed.
After all this, I'm done.
My favorite, well, like I said, 1 and 2 are interchangeable, but what I'm putting at 1 is Goodfellas, of course. My favorite mafia gangster movie of all time.
Same.
What should have been Scorsese's first Best Director Oscar, Best Picture Oscar.
Yep.
Yep.
But Dances with Wolves. Guys. The wolves.
I don't dance
Like
and I don't wolf. Yeah, Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci.
Dances with Wolves. Like that. But anyway.
The cast had great chemistry. It's never boring. I mean, again, we've sung the praises of Goodfellas endless amounts of times. Eric, who you got second?
All right, this one. That's funny.
Are you laughing because Kevin Costner's your number 2?
No. So, my number 2 is Martin Scorsese.
Top 3 is about to be the same.
Right.
The number 3 movie of Martin Scorsese is Wolf of Wall Street.
Dick. We don't compare lists before we press record.
No. So anyway, seriously, Wolf of Wall Street. Every reason Randy just said.
Yeah.
But I would streamline through that. Number 2 though. Taxi Driver.
I thought it was going to be like number 2 then.
The Departed.
And see, the thing with that is, the thing with Martin Scorsese is, I think he's the master of the biopic.
Yeah.
Think about all of these movies that come out in there, beat for beat for beat, like Bohemian Rhapsody. You got all these by the books.
Bryan Singer's
biopics.
my number 2. You hush.
I don't. Yeah, he needs to be. But now, even with his fictional characters like Taxi Driver, his character study.
You talking to me?
Travis Bickle, like, man, it's just. Yeah, it's.
You talking to me?
Yeah, one of the most. Even people who haven't seen the movie, they know that line. They know that scene. Yeah. Which is nuts and which is crazy. But yeah, Taxi Driver is definitely my number 2. And number 2, if we'd have done the 5, Raging Bull would have been on the list. Top 5.
My idea was always 3 movies from, like, 5 directors, but 3 movies apiece.
3 movies. Yeah. That's, but no, just top 5 in general.
But that was my thing, so though. Coogler has 3 movies, so he couldn't have done 5 movies.
You said that. You said my number 5 has 3 movies, and I was like,
that's what? True, yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
But the number 1 Martin Scorsese movie, take a guess.
Last Temptation of Christ.
Well, you know, Willem Dafoe doesn't get the but Goodfellas.
Boxcar Bertha.
Wow. But yeah, Goodfellas, definitely. Like I said, he's the master of the biopic, and you wouldn't think a lot of the way that he, like in Wolf of Wall Street and Goodfellas, 2 biopics, you wouldn't think, if nobody was to tell you, you wouldn't believe it if somebody told you this was based on real people's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And a lot of this on Henry Hill, he's
snitch.
Yeah.
A damn snitch.
And man, it's if the praise that this movie got is, I don't think it got enough as far as from the Academy. You go dance with your wolves all you want. You know, like I've said this dozens of times on this podcast, which one would you want to watch right now?
Hugo.
Yeah. Underrated flick from Scorsese. That's a really good movie. But no, that's my number 2.
The
It's
Irishman.
Is Marty Scope. And now I guess it's Nick's turn.
All right. Well, like, and like this was the point when I was making my list that I was like, it's still like, they like film Twitter. Like you talk about like those guys in film Twitter. It's like, oh my god, it's like like the Evan Peters played Michael Scott's nephew, and it was like my favorite movie. Like, like it's like it's like best movies ever. Pulp Fiction, Fight Club. So I was like, whatever. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Paul Thomas Anderson. I don't know if that's an interesting out of the box choice. It's another white guy, so not really. But
this might be the first time he's been mentioned on the podcast. Maybe.
Oh no. But I just ever since I was probably like a teenager when the number 3 movie came out, and I enjoyed it so much that it like made me go back and
Punch Drunk Love.
It when I was a teenager. It was like, oh, who did this? I'm gonna go watch this and this and this and this.
Right.
So number 3, I've got Punch Drunk Love. Yeah. That's a lot of people's number 1. It's like it's not his best movie, but
no.
What he did with Adam Sandler's brand of comedy at the time was so popular and so well known, like a proven formula, that he was able to see, that character for what it was, and like see how good Adam Sandler would be as that character without the shtick. Like he knew it would work without the silliness. Right. And I just think it's a great movie. I think it works the way that he wanted it to work. Like so few scripts start some way and end the way that like everyone foresees how it should go, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And like to me, that's a movie where I'm like, they were going for this and they nailed this. Like the chemistry between the leads and like Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, it's like it all just works for me every time I watch it. I love it. Number 2, speaking of Philip Seymour Hoffman, number 2 I have The Master, which I think is kind of, in the grand scheme of things, probably his most underappreciated movie on a wide scale. Maybe not. Like it got a lot of like awards recognition.
Phantom Thread has entered the conversation. I was trying to be a smart ass.
But it's like we should post these on Twitter, because film Twitter would come at me like, actually, I would think that, and I'd be like, oh, shut up. But it's like, I don't think it got nominated for Best Picture. I think it was 2012, and I don't think it was, and that's weird to me, because there were some stupid movies nominated for Best Picture that year. But
man, The Master is that old?
I think so. I was going to say 2011 or 2012. I think it's 2012. But it was, like I said, Philip Seymour Hoffman was like this gift that we just weren't, we didn't deserve Philip Seymour Hoffman as an actor. No. In my opinion, like he could do supporting character roles. He could do big, flashy lead roles. He could do subtle, over-the-top comedy drama.
Let me see.
Villain, good guy. It didn't matter. He was too good to stay on this earth, in my opinion. The Master is one of his best performances. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Definitely. No, I agree.
It is one of his just all-time greats. Same with Joaquin Phoenix. I want to say this was, I could be wrong, but I want to say this was like his first movie role after he did the like fake thing where he pretended he was going to quit being an actor and be a rapper.
Yeah, that documentary, whatever. I think it is one of his first.
I think this was like, if it wasn't his first role, it was his first like celebrated thing after that, because he got nominated for it. And again, phenomenal performance. Amy Adams, phenomenal performance. There's a whole big cast. Rami Malek is in it. Like, it's It's a great movie that I feel like not enough people have seen. But just acting wise, it is absolutely.
Best picture that year. Best picture that year was Argo, Amour, Beast of the Southern Wild, Django, Les Miserables, Life of Pi, Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook, Zero Dark 30.
Right. Like, Amour is horrible.
Joaquin got nominated.
That movie is awful. Beast of the Southern Wild was, like, weird to me.
Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman both got nominated.
Just all acting nominations.
Yeah.
Right.
And, like, The Master is so much better than Les Miserables.
Amy Adams got nominated, and Anne Hathaway beat her.
Yeah. Les Miserables. Come on, dude. Anyway, The Master. Like, I remember that more for its acting and everything than any part of Les Miserables. No offense to Les Miserables.
All offense. I've never seen it.
You know, fuck Les Miserables. No. Fun. And again, like, I don't know if, like, I'm saying this is the best film he ever did, but this was, like a front to back, just, like, again, like, everything worked, and all intentions, you know, intended shocks were met, and, like, the performance is just so, like, carries the movie. Number one, I have There Will Be Blood. Again, I don't know if that's his best, now that I'm saying the words out loud, but
are you actually
it's just
saying these words?
Wild movie that isn't even like that wild. Like, there's whole long stretches where, like, nothing really happens. Like, they just sit and talk about oil
and milkshakes
and, like, and, like, everything. Like, the performances. It's like everybody talks about Daniel Day-Lewis. I think Paul Dano.
Oh, Dano, you get overshadowed, overlooked.
Yes, like, immense. But, like, just the whole thing is just tense. Been, I don't want to say his name wrong, but it was the guitarist from Radiohead did the score for the movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say his name wrong, but I forget his last name. But his first name's Johnny. So Johnny does the score,
Appleseed,
and it's this, like, crackling, like, build-up type of score that just makes every scene tense. Even when they're not doing anything. Like, they're just, like, walking up a hill, watching some oil flow out of a thing. And it's like, oh, this is supposed to be suspenseful. And then it is. And then something happens, and it's crazy. And then just, I don't know. But it's Daniel Day-Lewis just, like, giving 150,000%.
It's a lot of percent.
It never doesn't. It's like Punch Drunk Love. It's like it never doesn't work. It doesn't miss a beat throughout the entire movie, and it's just the whole thing. Everything that's happening, you're just, like, glued to what's happening. And
speaking of beat, Johnny Greenwood.
I was gonna say Greenwood, but I didn't want that to be wrong. But yeah, I was thinking that. I kept thinking of another name, and I was like, I don't want to say the wrong name. I look like an asshole. But yeah, I would say Paul Thomas Anderson, number 2.
All right. I'm not the biggest PTA guy, so I want to say Boogie Nights is, like, his only movie that I really can say that I like that.
Oh.
And 2, I've never seen Magnolia, and I want to know if it's worth the blind buy.
Yes.
Done.
Like, maybe of all time.
It's what?
My mom renting Magnolia from, like, Hollywood Video and hating it. Like, she was like, that was the dumbest shit. I didn't understand that. What the fuck was going on with that? And I was like,
I just remember frogs.
10. Yeah, she was like, what the fuck were the frogs? And I'm a child. And she's...
And you want to see one of Tom Cruise's best performances of his career.
Yeah. I remember watching Magnolia.
Look at it.
No, Nick's face. As soon as you said that, Nick's face was amazing.
Well, get
so
the movie,
good.
dude.
Yeah.
And even, man, definitely get that.
Yeah.
And one of his most underrated movies, because I think Boogie Nights came out, and then just, everybody thought Boogie Nights was his first movie. A movie called Hard 8.
Yeah, like, everybody was riding the hype from Boogie Nights.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find Hard 8 anywhere. You can't
Yeah.
find it.
So I guess we're on to my boring number 2. My number 2 is Christopher Nolan. And
I was like, there's somebody else gonna say Christopher Nolan.
Somebody's gonna say Nolan, right?
Yeah.
So my number 3. Well, I mean, I should be an asshole and just say all 3 of my movies are the Dark Knight trilogy. No, my number 3 is The Prestige. I think it's far and away his most underrated movie. Like people might praise Dunkirk. Like one of my boys loves Interstellar, and like those are close. But dude, the Prestige is masterful. Like the plot twists, the competitive rivalry, and just the magic in general. And then when it takes place, like it's just all so cool to me. And then number 2, number what's up?
Hold on, Randy, lost you for a second.
Don't lose me. Don't lose me. Nick said something.
No, you were like frozen, like this, and I was like, oh, he's thinking about The Prestige. He's thinking about, oh, fun.
Nah, my number 2 is Batman Begins. It started the reboot wave. It's one of the all-time best origin stories. It's just it's a big movie as far as like scale and scope and shit, but it's like it's contained for what Nolan was going for, and like Chicago, like it's the perfect setting for Gotham City.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's so petty and it's so like minuscule. It's something that the like common regular everyday movie fan wouldn't think about. But I hate that it switched up to Pittsburgh and Rises, and we've said that before, and that was like a production flex. But it's like Gordon's not commissioner yet. It's literally Batman Year 1. Like he doesn't have a bat suit when he starts out. Like learning with the League of Shadows and Liam Neeson, Ken Watanabe. I'm in the minority. I prefer Katie Holmes as Rachel over Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I've always said Maggie Gyllenhaal like is a better actress and like
Yeah.
gives a better performance. But like I don't know, there's something about the continuity break. It just has always bothered. Like I would have rather had a so-so performance from Katie Holmes just to be like, oh yeah, it's the same character.
I don't think that Katie Holmes could have pulled off the drums and the explosion, that scene with Aaron Eckhart in The Dark Knight. I mean, we'll never know.
Before you get to your number 1, right, I want to say something about Batman Begins, and also The Dark Knight, the whole trilogy. The performances. It's one scene in the movie I think is one of the best scenes of Batman Begins. It's the scene where he goes to see Falcone.
As a kid?
Yeah. No, when he was an adult, after he got out, like he should have said.
Interview.
Yeah. In a restaurant, and is it Tom Wilkinson, the actor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene in there, I'm like, man, I was like, in the theater, I remember seeing that scene.
Because your mommy
like,
and your daddy got shot.
Yeah, and he came and said, don't come in here with your anger, trying to prove something to yourself, and like, and you think you got nothing to lose, and that whole scene is just great.
What about your butler? What about your girlfriend at the DA's office? Bang, dead.
Bang.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that out. Like, man, that was just, he went all in for that.
And even that, like, even Nolan being able to cast like Tom Wilkinson, Rutger Hauer, like the great actors in these like not really throwaway but super supporting roles.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, definitely, that's what I was speaking to. Yeah, just.
And then my number 1, The Following.
Yes, Following.
I mean, The Dark Knight. Yeah, man, the Dark Knight, like the movie that got the masses to take comic book movies serious.
Yeah.
Bale coming back, Bale more comfortable as Bruce Wayne and as Batman. I really want to know the story behind Katie Holmes not coming back. I feel like Tom Cruise like put her in a room and was like, look, Batman Begins was amazing. You're not gonna do this sequel and be in a movie better than anything I've ever done.
I've got a script for you. It's called Mad.
It's called Mad Money.
FIFA.
And Diane
Wow.
Keaton.
Do that instead.
And then what? Matt Damon.
good-
Matt Damon was the original choice for Harvey Dent, and Aaron Eckhart ended up doing it. And I feel like that was supposed to be the movie where Aaron Eckhart just became the man. And it's like, I don't know, like he had a trash agent and really hasn't done very much since. Like he's like super supporting shit. Like, was he in Midway?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like that.
Yeah.
I Frankenstein.
I Frankenstein didn't do any favors.
And then like how many times have we brought up Heath Ledger, man? Heath Ledger gives one of the all-time greatest villain performances, comic book movie performances. Got Oscar well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Like he made that movie. Like The Dark Knight is amazing because of how great Heath Ledger is in that movie.
It's like a shame that we'll never really know how that movie would have been received if he was still alive.
Yeah.
Like it's a phenomenal movie and people would have loved it and thought it was great. But it's just like that added this weird layer to the movie. That it's just like it was immediately like legendary status. It was like this was Heath's last ride, even though it wasn't.
Yeah,
Right.
Dr.
But it
Parnassus.
But it was like, I don't know. And like you were talking about like filming in Chicago for Batman Begins.
And The Dark Knight.
Yeah, but it's like the way they filmed it was like different. It was almost like Batman Begins when it's still like, have you heard of this Bat guy? Like this Bat guy. And so almost all of it was like, in back alleys and like small spots in the city. And then The Dark Knight, the same city, it's the same, but it's like his reputation has grown and the scale is so much bigger. It's like,
Right.
big picture. Like he's all over the city working with the cops, doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
Just like the way that they did those things.
But you know what, Nick?
Nolan made a great sequel that improved on the original in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of, you talk about scale. Something Nolan, he started to do a lot more, starting with The Dark Knight. I don't know if you all tell me if he actually shot IMAX footage with Batman Begins. I don't think so, right?
Not that I heard of. Like The Dark Knight was the first real height of using IMAX cameras.
Yeah, I don't know if you all saw that in actual on IMAX, but the scene, especially the scene that sticks out for me, is when he went to China, and the depth and everything when he's going in, and the big chase scene with the truck, and
I'm good with calculation.
Like every single aspect of Batman Begins was improved upon, and that's saying a lot because Batman Begins was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And and it's just, and Aaron Eckhart, it's like he was unfortunately overshadowed.
Good in the dark. We don't talk about it very much, but he's like really good as Harvey Dent.
Mm-hmm.
But his arc,
really over the top.
his arc in that movie literally is you go from being a hero to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
Like he
I feel like that rushed. Like some people have made the argument that's like it's rushed and like maybe they should have saved Two-Face for the sequel. It's like maybe, but it makes sense. Like by the time you get like it's like he doesn't have to be the focus. Like Two-Face doesn't have to be like the focused villain. It's like this is what happens when you know.
Yeah, and it was also a point Joker was trying to prove with what he was doing. And
it's like the Joker won. You know what I mean? Like
right, yeah, more or less, he definitely won.
How many different movies can you say that the villain actually wins by the time the credits roll?
Yeah, as Batman was looked at as because he had to take the responsibility, and that's crazy.
Like you said, it changed. It made people take it seriously. It's like it changed the conversation. It was like when Batman Begins came out, it was like this masterpiece, this great movie, it's unbelievable, but it was still like the exception to the rule.
We were still getting Electras and Fantastic Fours.
Yeah, Fantastic Four came out.
Boy,
and,
Dark Knight was surrounded by Iron Man and Hellboy 2.
The Last Stand was like right around the corner. It was just like, we had 2 great X-Men movies, and then like we're getting like a okay movie. Like these, they weren't Blade Trinity. All these movies were coming out at the same time. It was like,
no shit.
Oh boy, don't remind me. Good.
The Dark Knight came
Blade
out.
Trinity.
Now it's more like when you have a Green Lantern, it's like, that sucked. That's weird. Like that's odd that wasn't good.
Yeah, that same Green Lantern movie in 2002 probably would have been awesome.
Yeah, prior to that, not even a flash in the pan. It would have been like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like on par with whatever, the whole any of these movies that were coming out. Like Spider-Man and Batman Begins were like exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
Until The Dark Knight came out. And then it was...
Everything was expected to be great.
Yeah.
But let me say this one thing about The Dark Knight to speak to the genius of Christopher Nolan. The Dark Knight, a non-horror movie, a non-horror movie, had that year one of the best jump scares. And you remember the scene I'm talking about when the mayor is talking by the window?
Yeah.
And the body, poof.
I think the first time I saw that, I jumped.
Everybody jumped.
Then why do you dress like him?
They didn't, they didn't sweeten it up at all for kids. Like, they sold out figures and shit for that movie. But that's not a children's film.
Nah.
But I remember my niece and nephew loved it. They were like itty bitty when that came out. And I remember they were all about The Dark Knight. So it worked, whatever they could.
Mm-hmm.
And before we go around the table on our number ones, I want to squeeze this in. When a director goes like off brand from what they usually put out, like what's your favorite movie from a director when they go off brand, kind of like Fincher and Benjamin Button?
Yeah. I think of, I'm not saying it's my favorite, but it's like I think of Ridley Scott does it a lot. Like he does it. Shit, I should have put him. Whatever. He doesn't have like one definable. That was Spielberg. Like he's kind of like, oh yeah, that's a Spielberg movie. But every now and then he'll do like The Terminal or like Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
Movie that's not. Ron Howard does it a lot too. Like he doesn't have like a definable.
Right.
If I said Spielberg, Catch Me If You Can would be in my 3.
You mentioned Spielberg. Up to this point, he really didn't do. He had The Color Purple. But nobody really expected anything like Schindler's List from Spielberg.
Yeah.
Which came out the same year as Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
For a Spielberg movie, you think, and I had Spielberg, and then I took him off for that reason. Like I was like, oh, yeah. Obviously, he's probably the best director of all time.
You know, I got one for you. You usually used to this director doing like hard dramas and stuff like that. Clint Eastwood, Space Cowboys.
Yeah.
You know what? That's more like that's a comedy, sci-fi, whatever you want to.
That's hanging out with his old fogey homies.
Yeah.
It's big. One, I don't know if either of you. I don't think you've watched it yet. The Old Guard, the new movie on Netflix with Charlize.
Gonna watch that tonight. Yeah.
It's actually pretty dope. I enjoyed it. I watched it last night.
That's what I'm hearing.
Whose name is escaping me?
Gina Bythe Princewood.
Yeah, she's the same director of Love and Basketball.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Beyond the Lights. Yeah. So I thought that was weird. And I thought like a lot of the action scenes in the movie were staged really well for a director that does not, to my knowledge, have a lot of.
Down boy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like that's what I put on my Letterboxd review. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button is like the least David Fincher movie.
Yeah, Alien 3 looks like a Fincher.
Yeah, the hell with Benjamin Button, man.
Oh no.
No, I mean it's a great movie, but I can't watch that movie again.
Oh.
I need the backstory to that.
No, it's just. I mean, it's a great movie. It's a sad as fuck. The ending.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's like, it's kind of like if you really look at it, it's like, I read somebody was like, Kate Blanchett falls in love with a guy and then gets punished her entire life for it.
I heard that before, yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's astute.
That's what I was thinking. Like, man, this movie's good, but this shit is tragic.
Yeah.
They
it's
fall
just
in
like,
love, and then she's got to fucking, like, she's got to coddle him when he's a baby, and then, like, he just falls asleep and he's dead.
Yeah. And while we still on it, the saddest part in the movie is actually supposed to be, it disguises itself as one of the more heartwarming parts of the movie. When I think they're in the ballet studio and they're looking in the mirror and they're like, at this point we're the same age.
Yeah.
That's sad as hell if you know what I mean?
They're going opposite ways,
like,
yeah.
it's good. Sometimes sad things are just good. It's like,
Yeah.
uh,
But yeah, definitely for Fincher.
that's a good one. I didn't put David Fincher either because I figured either one of y'all would have it or it would be like
Nah.
Fight Club.
Again, like, he'd be in my 10, but... And then, like, I put in my stories yesterday, my Fincher list anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's
In like years, so I would need to rewatch that.
the game. Didn't Randy, you post something about the game? I was like, it's
I
Fincher's
was
forgotten movie.
watching it.
Yeah, it was something up somewhere. But no.
I remember liking the game more. Like, it's like of his movies that he actually claims, everything except Alien 3. It was like Michael Douglas was good in the role. He was just kind of like hard to watch. He was just such a prick.
Yeah, that was I think that was definitely by design, I think.
Yeah, for sure. He was just this unlikable guy.
Michael Douglas.
So I
Yeah.
guess we can go around and do our number ones. One of y'all will probably steal my number one.
Mm-hmm. All right, so who is it? Me?
Yep.
All right, so this particular director actually put me on a very interesting path in my life. It got me interested in a certain thing that I would do. Hello, like hurry up. No, but anyway, this man, I know both one of y'all probably had this guy. Yeah, this dude is just amazing. It was hard to choose just 3 of his movies, but I did it. So Akira Kurosawa.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna start with his number 3, Randy.
You stole my number one.
So number 3 for
I'm just
Kurosawa is Rashomon. Now I don't know if y'all are familiar with this movie, but this is one of, if not the first movie that did multiple takes from different people on the same situation. And that movie's been done over and over again. You probably remember from Basic with Samuel Jackson. They did that, not as well as Kurosawa, but Kurosawa was the first to do that type of storytelling. And I definitely recommend going back if you haven't seen it. Got it on Blu-ray. I don't know if it's Criterion, but anyway, that's number 3. So shit. And speaking of which, Criterion.
I'm not sure if it's Criterion.
Excuse me.
I still watch it.
I thought you were about to get up and go get some water.
But no, number 2 is what I just showed y'all off mic. Is Yojimbo, and I just bought that the other day. This is a 2-set Yojimbo and Senjuro, which is good movie too. So Yojimbo is the bodyguard. That's basically translation, and one of the best.
Like Whitney Houston.
It's probably a loose, kind of. It could be a loose remake. But yeah, have y'all seen Yojimbo?
Like 1,000 times. When have I not seen Yojimbo? I'm familiar with it. I'm like, I don't like know it, but as soon as you held that up, I was like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
But for all you tech heads out there in filmmaking, I think Yojimbo is the first movie that Kurosawa shot in a widescreen format when it came into existence. Because I think before that, people still shot in Academy ratio, which is just 4:3, whatever. So anyway, number 1 is one I'm sure y'all definitely heard of if y'all haven't seen it. the 3 hour and 27-minute Seven Samurai. And Seven Samurai was it's the catalyst for Magnificent Seven. And yeah, it's just Toshiro Mifune is probably in all, let's see, is in Yojimbo? Yeah, in all three of these movies. He was Kurosawa's go-to actor for most of his movies. And now Seven Samurai is, if you've seen Magnificent Seven, you're familiar with the story. And it's just a hell of a movie. Kurosawa was a master in framing fight scenes. And I think we spoke about no, this was off mic. We were talking about the director of Taken and the shaky cam and all that stuff. And Kurosawa was the master of framing fight scenes, keeping everything static, setting everything up, everything's in frame. The frame is filled, mountains in the background, blah, blah, blah. And each section of the frame has something that catches your eye in it. But that's me being geeky about it. But Kurosawa, that's my number one, and those are his best movies for mine, or top three.
Nick?
I just feel like I need to keep stressing that, like, once I found out I could do this, I made, like, a whole list. It was, like, cutting stuff up, and I was like, no, I'm not going to put that. It's like, I had, like, Sergio Leone. I had, like, John Hughes. I did a whole thing. I was like, I'm not putting, this. I'm not putting that. But number one, I always say, like, I'm like, this is probably my favorite director because it's like whenever he puts something out, it's always immediate. Like, I'll hear like the slightest thing. Oh my God, he's working on this. I'm so excited to see, like, he puts his voice into that. And we were talking a minute ago about directors who don't have like a consistent type of movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is one, like, he does not have one single type of movie, but his tone, his style, no matter what the type of movie it is, it always shines through. My number one is Richard Linklater, which is not, I don't think either of y'all's number one, but it's like...
Just you wait.
He does not have... It's like he has a style, but he does not... He's not limited by any type of movie. He's done sci-fi movies. He's done, like, screwball, like, slapstick comedies.
Right.
Like,
Bad News Bears.
Drama. He's done serious dramas. And, like, they're all good. Like, I don't think he has a bad movie in his filmography, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of his, like, middle movies, a lot of people haven't seen. But they're all pretty good, in my opinion. Number three, I'm cheating. I'm just going to say the Before trilogy. If I had to pick one, I'd maybe pick Sunset because I love the ending so much. But they're all one cohesive story.
I just watched these. Was Sunset the first one?
Sunset was the second one.
Second one, yeah. That's You're Gonna Miss Your Plane, right?
Yeah.
That ending. Yeah.
We didn't know if Ethan Hawke stayed or went.
Hook, line, and sinker for that little, just that little, like, wink. And those are three movies of just two white people talking. Worst shit. But it's so good. And
dude, Midnight was such a downer.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
I don't know, but I don't think we give Ethan Hawke enough credit as an actor, like, overall society. And I feel like Linklater, like, sees something in Ethan Hawke that other directors don't really see, I guess. I don't know if that's what I'm trying to say. But, he's done so many, like, hard-boiled cop dramas and stuff like that. And he works so well in these and Boyhood. I think that was like probably 4 or 5 for Linklater on my list. But he's like the master of just the character, just like the human emotion, like just the character study of just the average person, like trying to, just talking about day-to-day life. And that's all these movies are. It's just two people talking about
Life.
what they're going through at these stages in their lives, and they just work so well.
Yeah.
I just love it. Number 2.
Hold on 1 second, Nick. You know what's funny about that? You speak Ethan Hawke for the last 2 Sunset movies, the last 2 before movies rather. Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy.
Yeah.
Julie Delpy. Yeah.
They were nominated for
Writing.
a screenplay
Yes.
for both of these. And the thing is about the first movie, there was an issue where even Linklater tried to fight for him. The Writers Guild wouldn't give them their credit for the first movie. They wrote the first movie together. And
it's like this big collaborative process. That's another thing with it. It's like he knows that was what was best for those movies.
Mm-hmm.
Have them all sit at a table and write the stories, and like there's a joke here, but there's a serious introspective moment here, and like that is what would make it work. Those movies are great.
Yep.
But number 2 is definitely his most well-known movie, probably his most popular movie. But like, it's like number 2 is School of Rock. Number 2 is School of Rock. Like that's all there is to it. Like, sorry, an awards push for it. There could have been, in my opinion.
Should have been.
It's this like ridiculous story.
Yeah.
That's like, I think I'd give it like a 4.5. I think that's the only like the little half is just that like there's no way they would have gotten away with it in real life. But it's like it's like this silly comedy story, but it's just elevated so much from the standard,
Jack
early
Black's
2000
energy.
comedy. Like it's even like the standard Jack Black vehicle, which wasn't really a thing until School of Rock.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, even the kind of standard, like, if the Farley brothers had directed School of Rock, it would have been a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole classroom full of kids, and every single one of the kids has a definable, like, personality, and, like, is given their moment to shine, and, like, the teacher, learns what they're good at and applies that to a part of, it's like, we're going to need merch, we're going to be selling t-shirts. He applies it to the whole thing, and it's just like there's 1,000 movies about the wise teacher finally listening to the students, and it never really took that corny route. Like it never went the the lean on me, not that that's corny, but I'm like, it never did the whole like super over the top dramatic, like my parents don't understand me. Like it dabbled in that a little bit, like enough to make you understand if like this kid wanted to play guitar. It was like, I'm gonna give you the chance to play the guitar. Like you're great at this, you should just do this. And at the end, like they all just play the show. The parents don't just show up to the show and start a slow clap. They have to go to the show because they're kidnapped. It's like I keep saying it, but it's just one of those movies that works from beginning to end when it could have just not worked. It could have been really stupid and run-of-the-mill comedy.
Yep.
We still talk about it almost 20 years later because it's just so good. Number 1,
the Newton Boys.
School of Rock. Like the actual, like they did like the meticulous, the whole, if you like the scene where he's on the chalkboard and he's got all the like the diagram of all the bands. You never pause it and look at it, like it's so good. Like they really thought that out. Super well.
Try that. I never tried that.
Number 1, my favorite movies of all time. It's one of my favorite comedies ever.
So it's not the Newton Boys.
Number 1 is the Bad News Bears remake. Which is great. I feel like nobody talks about like that's a hilarious movie. Like nobody. I thought the remake of Bad News Bears was hysterical. Anyway, number 1 is Dazed and Confused. I've seen it 1,000 times, and like every time, it's like I'll wait like 2 years and just watch it again, and I'll feel like, God, I'm watching this for the first time in decades. Like this is amazing to me. I love this, and it's like I watched this 2 years ago. Like I watch it all the time. I quote it, and I remember when I saw it when I was younger, like young. I remember assuming that it was just filmed in the 70s. Like,
Yeah,
by the time
that's
11 or 12, and I found out that it was actually like made in the early 90s. Like, I was like, I don't know. Like, I was like so blown away by that. The whole tone of the movie feels so authentic, like down to the the music, to the, I mean, everything about it. The wardrobe, again, like you talk about movies that could have had an awards push that they didn't really go for.
And didn't this movie introduce us to McConaughey?
To quite a few
I think
actors,
so.
really, but like it was McConaughey's like kicking the door open.
Yeah.
And it's like we throw this word around a lot, but it's like it is iconic. Like that character, unbelievable. McConaughey's done a lot of things. Like he's always like, everybody kind of rolls their eyes. Like he's done a lot of different kinds of roles, if we're being honest. But we still associate his persona,
Right?
character from Confused, like the all right, like that 100% him and Days Confused.
Yeah.
But I guess they stay the same age. Like
Yeah.
That's pretty good impression.
But I mean, the whole cast is relatively new at the time. Ben Affleck.
Yeah, his first talking role, I think. He's been in like extras before that.
Yeah, Field of Dreams.
He would have been a child, and I mean, like Cole Hauser would have had to have been like 17 or 18.
Yeah, it's too many. What's
Parker Posey, Joey Lauren Adams,
Parker Posey, Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, her. I'm about to say,
They were
Lila.
all like
Lila.
actual.
That's a.
I mean, they're all great. Like again, like School of Rock. It's this movie with all these characters that you have to juggle, and instead of just focusing on one character and like seeing it through like the Forrest Gump lens of like we're following this character through this, it juggles all these characters. And then they did Everybody Wants Some a few years ago.
Yeah,
Right.
Wasn't quite as good as Days of Confused, but it did the same thing very well, in my opinion. Was that all these characters, and you understood where they were all coming from. They all had discernible personalities compared to one another, and it didn't need to focus on just one character to understand like the focus of the story. Like there was there's the kid that doesn't want to sign the paper because he's he can't. Doesn't want to sign the paper. Like it's like he's kind of the focus of the story, but not really, because then you got the little freshman kid, and his friends, and then you've got the kind of nerds who are deciding if they want to go to the party or not. Like it covers all the stuff, and it's something he's done throughout his whole career. If you've ever seen the movie Slacker, it's like his first like real movie. It's kind of like it was like Clerks before Clerks. There's no real plot. It's two characters having a conversation. And they'll be like, okay, then this character will walk away and do something else, and then it'll set off another chain of events with two other characters. And that movie
came out before.
Never bored, because I don't know, he just keeps the action just moving along, unlike anyone else. Like it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just rambling on. I love his shit. I even liked Where'd You Go, Bernadette last year. Like nobody else. Wasn't one of his best movies. It was still a good movie in my opinion. Like it still had the zip that I wanted from it. So yeah, I think that's my list.
All right.
Oops.
And finishing up my number one, I was between like Brett Ratner and Bryan Singer and Roman Polanski. But for number one,
Polanski would have a really good top three. Like you had to pick a top three Polanski.
I'm just trying to be a smart ass and list off dickhead directors who got into some shit.
That's three.
But I mean, my favorite director of all time has been swamped, covered in his own amount of controversy based on what film Twitter thinks he did that pisses them off, and it's Quentin Tarantino and his foot obsession. Yeah, J.J. Abrams. My third favorite Tarantino movie is Django Unchained. Arguably Jamie Foxx's best performance, one of Leonardo DiCaprio's best performances that he got snubbed for. Christoph Waltz won supporting. And I mean, again, I feel like this is a movie that gets talked about a lot on this podcast. Tarantino putting his own flavor into a very controversial topic. And then at 2, I got Pulp Fiction, storytelling, The Bad Motherfucker Wallet, the coffee. What was his name? Leon? Marvin?
Yeah, Marvin.
Marvin and his
shot Marvin in the face.
Yeah. Royale with cheese. Samuel L. Jackson. The way Scorsese put Margot Robbie on the map, Tarantino put Samuel L. Jackson on the map in Pulp Fiction. Kind of revived Travolta. The non-linear storytelling. What the fuck was in that briefcase? I mean, Pulp Fiction is a fucking classic.
Mm-hmm.
And then my favorite Tarantino movie is The Whole Bloody Affair. Because ain't nobody gonna tell me on my own damn podcast that I picked 2 movies for my favorite Tarantino movie.
Only I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, Kill Bill is one
All 3
one damn story, and I mean this movie in itself has multiple genres. You got Kill Bill Volume 1. You know, it's got a little bit of anime. It's got the kung fu. Volume 2 feels a little more Western, and the 5-finger exploding heart technique, that dope ass fucking one of my all time favorite fight scenes against the crazy 88s. Vivica A. Fox, Lucy Liu, Michael Madsen. I mean, the cast is dope. Eric, you got an interjection?
Yes. Now, you speaking of the cast, Kill Bill Volume 2, I would have gave Carradine supporting actor nomination.
Yeah.
So would I.
I didn't want to say Carradine because his first name was escaping me.
Yeah, David Carradine.
There you go.
Yeah. I would have given those movies as a whole more awards love. It's just like after Inglourious Bastards, it's just kind of like Quentin Tarantino, like whatever he does, it's like considered awards, like on the map.
Right.
But it's like Kill Bill is as good or better than those, in my opinion, in terms of, you know, I mean, everybody's got their favorites or whatever. It's whatever.
Right.
But, you know, as far as storytelling, style, acting, I put it up against like pretty much any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Uma Thurman, like, you know, those performances of her career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, could have been nominated for those.
He's love Kill Bill.
Over whoever else was in 2003.
Yeah, that's
Cold Mountain.
Yeah, Cold Mountain. I always think of that. When I think of an Oscar bait movie, I'm like, what came out and could have put Cold Mountain out?
Yeah, he got what's her name? Zellweger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got her little gold.
The Last Samurai was better than Cold Mountain. That's a hill I'm gonna die on.
Can't disagree with that.
Yeah, it's a better movie. I don't care.
You got me every time you bring up the Oscars. You got me wanting to look up what was nominated and what won instead.
I do always thinking, I'm like, what won and why was this better?
Return of the King. This is for 03.
That's when it swept. Yeah.
Lost in Translation. Yeah. Master and Commander. Mystic River. Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit.
Fuck you.
Best,
safe bets.
Best Actress. Charlize Theron won for Monster.
Okay.
Keisha Castle Hughes. Diane Keaton. Samantha Morton. Hold on. Alpha is Oscar nominated?
Yeah.
From Walking Dead?
Yeah. Multiple times.
And Naomi Watts.
Yep.
And Zellweger won for Cold Mountain.
Yeah. That was supporting one. Yeah. You talk about supporting,
Yeah.
Fun fact, Keisha Castle Hughes was also on The Walking Dead in a really tiny role when Beth was she woke up in the hospital.
Was she the cop?
Some paramedic. One of the paramedic girls.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
That cop, like this is like so far off on nothing to do with anything we're talking about today. But I thought that the cop from when Beth was in the hospital was like one of the more underrated villains that deserved like more screen time.
I also agree. That whole season was insane.
I remember freaking out when her and Daryl got separated.
Yeah, that was season 4.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I was still with it then.
Oh, that was that show. The look at the flowers, that was the same.
That shit changed Carol's whole character.
Oh yeah, that was.
Her and Tyrese at the table, like crying. That should have won every Emmy in the book.
Carol hasn't been the same since Look at the Flowers.
Oh, and she came back and did that Rambo shit in the woods. Oh, I love that show. I'm gonna be the last bill for The Walking Dead. Like,
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Quentin Tarantino.
You're like, this is stupid. I'm like, no, it's genius.
Yeah. Well, let me ask y'all this before I forget. Have y'all ever seen the uncut color version of the Crazy 88 fight?
Yes, I believe I have. But
probably not.
But I feel like I did.
And to tell you how far back that is, I ordered the import because it's uncut in Japan. I ordered that DVD.
Yeah.
And I had a region-free DVD player, and it's not just in color; it's also it's extra little snippets of scenes that they cut, like out of it.
Like, yeah, the MPAA were just like, we can't air this. We can't.
Yeah, they just didn't understand what he was going for. It's just obviously supposed to be over the top, and y'all.
Yeah, we can't do any of this. Like, you had it all spill out of the elevator in The Shining, and that was fine.
Yeah, oh, they lied to him on that one. That was slick. They told him it was rusted water from the busted pipes in the elevator.
Yeah,
that's how they got the. Oh yeah, that's fine. The rusted water.
It would be bright red. That's.
But yeah. But.
Yeah, that's it, man. 3 of our favorite directors, maybe not like. I mean, these are my all-time 3 favorite directors, man. If these 2 dudes didn't want to be completely genuine with the viewer and give their 3 favorite, then
I wasn't just gonna be like Steven Spielberg, E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws. Like, I was just like, you know, I was like, I knew some of you, like, somebody would say Quentin Tarantino. I knew somebody was gonna say Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Somebody was gonna say Spike Lee. So I was like, all right, I'll keep it.
Yeah, the Kurosawa one, which is genuine, is probably a safe bet. No one. But I'll tell you this one more thing about Tarantino that's pretty cool. If you watch from Reservoir Dogs up to his most recent movie, how he grew. He was always a great writer.
Yeah.
But how he grew into a great director. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's just like another great writer, filmmaker is Kevin Smith. You know, he's a decent director, but he's a great writer.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, you know, Hollywood chewed him up and spat him out. I think he deserves so much more.
Until he had to link up with Saban Films.
He should have had like a business manager or somebody like guide him through his journey.
Yeah, it's just, I think he probably got halfway blacklisted after the Superman Lives thing.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. And yeah, but no, he has a decent career. I mean, for the movies he does, but somebody's not even on the list. But yeah, Tarantino definitely. And that's a great observation you make about him. He's just a shoo-in to get nominated ever since, Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah. That was the one. Even like, the Hateful Eight wasn't like a huge awards darling, but before it came out, it was like, well, possible nominees.
Yeah.
For everything, and it was like every actor, every actress.
Right, but even with the Hateful Eight, it got Ennio his first Oscar.
It got an award.
Right.
Not his best movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's all there is to it. Like, it just wasn't his. It wasn't as good as like the other ones around it.
Right, and that says a lot. His
What?
his really good movie is probably better than somebody else's greatest movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, can't wait to see what he needs to do. Kill Bill 3, that's been creeping up.
Yeah.
People were saying Zendaya as
last week or so.
Yeah.
Like, somebody wants to do Kill Bill 3, and it's like, well, they're not doing anything else, so
Right.
guess that's news.
But that's what we were speaking about. Just a little hint of somebody talking about something is news because of this.
No, it's not.
But
Don't be giving them accounts clicks. But before I start roasting, if the next podcast is in 2 weeks, whenever I feel like cooking it back up, man, we'll come up with another topic. Hopefully Nick will be here, but he'll probably be too essential and he'll bail on us. When I come back, man, me and my guy Orlando, we're gonna talk about this NBA bubble. It's regularly. Back again. Got my guy old Pizzle.
What up, though?
I know I touched a little on. Oh yeah. That's what happened. Last episode, Cam got signed. I want to get your thoughts on Cam to the Patriots before we get into the NBA.
Major. It's a major development here in New England. I don't know what is going on with the rest of the league. You done messed up, Aaron. I don't know why I let this man only get signed for $1 million. And then, Here we go. 2 weeks later from that, they just freed up like $7 million in cap space by settling with Antonio Brown and Aaron Hernandez's camp. And then they just restructured Reggie Burkhead's contract. So now they have some cap space to play with and add a couple more pieces to that puzzle.
Feel me?
I think the league just messed up yet again.
Like, let's not get it twisted. It's still fuck the Patriots all day. But
yeah. I mean,
but this is a prove-it season for Cam Newton. Cam is smart. Cam is smart as fuck. So he had to be like, I'm about to go in here, make a little bit of bread. Everybody's gonna blow it out of proportion. I'm gonna ball out because ain't no dude named Stidham finna start over me.
Over me, no. It's about to be a FU tour for the whole league.
So the Pats still got their chokehold on the AFC East. Let's keep it funky.
Yeah, that's not even up for grabs.
So that's an automatic playoff spot.
They think Sam Darnold trash. I've been thinking that.
That's an automatic playoff spot. So that's a playoff win. I'm not saying they're gonna get to the Super Bowl because
get to the AFC Championship though.
Yeah, they could get to the AFC Championship, but you still got the young guns in the AFC who.
But there's only one team that's either better than them or that can compete with them mentally. Yeah. That's the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's like we can't slight the champs.
No, and so the Ravens can't even come from behind from 10 down, so they're automatically out of that. I don't even until they can win from behind. They're not even in contention for any championship in my point of view.
And then,
whatever.
And then he's gonna ball out. He don't have to win a Super Bowl, but he's gonna ball out, and hopefully he's gonna be healthy, and then he's gonna have his pick of wherever he wants to play next year.
It's gonna be crazy, bro. It's gonna be crazy. That situation. Like I said, the AFC I think it's damn near locked up. It's either going to be Chiefs or Patriots again. I don't see any other team really coming out and doing anything. For the NFC, that one's going to be wide open. NFC's wide open, even though I think the 49ers are going to make it back to the Super Bowl. They have the squad to make it back.
That'd be dope. I like the Niners.
Yeah, so it's gonna be an interesting year if we have a year.
Exactly. That's why I don't want to get too deep into NFL talk because it's early July and we don't even know if they're gonna have an NFL season.
Man, I don't know, dude. It's just gonna be wild because most of the coaches who are coaching are like in their 60s,
mad old
and,
anyway.
like, high 50s. You know what I'm saying?
Like, for health regulations, can Pete Carroll or Bill Belichick even be on the sidelines?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are we doing?
But a league that is trying to finish their season is the NBA. Let me see. In the Eastern Conference, the Bucks, Raptors, Celtics, Heat, Pacers, Sixers, Nets, Magic, and Wizards are all in Orlando. In the Western Conference, not in but in Orlando, Florida. In the Western Conference, the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Jazz, Thunder, Rockets, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Blazers, Pelicans, Kings, Spurs, and Suns are all in the bubble.
Man.
So I guess I want to predict how we think this is going to play out, because that's the thing too. I think there's going to end up being too many positives in the bubble, and we're not even going to see an NBA Finals.
I
hope they have a game plan.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
I mean, I hope they have a game plan, but you got referees, you got 10 guys on the court, and then however many bench players with like one seat in between them all to not be too close, locker rooms and whatever. I mean, you got dudes cutting up like Joel Embiid showing up in the full mop gear, government dude.
The real problem is that the hotel workers.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of behind the scenes staff that are gonna be affected by this too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have 4 different hotels, probably thousands of workers on staff, and not one of them gonna.
I think eventually family members.
Huh?
I think eventually, like, if they make it to the conference finals and the NBA finals, family members are gonna be able to come through.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's a lot of working parts. I like that they're trying to make it work, trying to make it happen.
And see, like, specifically for like the rules and the breakdown, I don't even fully get it. So like, the Wizards are there because they're 5.5 games out of the 8th seed, and they recently announced Bradley Beal's not going to play, so I don't think they have a shot. Because I thought they would take the Nets spot, because the Nets ain't got Kyrie, KD, DeAndre Jordan, like, they're big guys. But they recently picked up, finally, thank you, Brooklyn. They finally picked up Jamal Crawford. They picked up Michael Beasley. So I think the Nets are in there.
I mean, if you look at it, man, it's a whole different element. You're not playing in a full arena, a packed arena. It's just kind of like you're playing. It's like street ball. You're playing street ball.
Yeah.
And
on the low,
how it feels is like it's going to be 5-on-5 pickup.
Yeah.
It's not having your actual game feel to it. So who knows? The Wizards could come back and do something. Like, if you have enough guys who can just.
You there?
Game.
Man, you froze all the way up.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. You're good.
Yeah. I said there's no reason why they couldn't come back, but for me, I would have just kept the top 8 seeds and just left it be.
Just started with the playoffs.
They wanted to make it fair for like the Pelicans and the Trailblazers and teams like that. But the East was so garbage. It's like you can only reasonably put like 2 teams, outside of the top 8 in there. You know what I'm saying?
It's like the Pacers are the 5th seed with 39 wins, and the Magic are the 8th seed with 30 wins, and they're playing 8 games, I think, before the playoffs start. Like, I don't know. I think top 6 in the East are top 6 in the East. So, I mean, really, the only shuffle might be Brooklyn, Orlando, and Washington. But, like, will there still even be that much shuffle? Like, it's for playoff position. But it, like you saying, like, it's neutral court. There's no home court advantage. So
that's just how you on that day.
Yeah.
Like, there is no. You're not about to be hyped up by a crowd or anything like that.
That's so weird.
So it's just like, who can play? Like, I feel like Russell Westbrook and James Harden can go off in this type of setting.
Yeah. let me see. Like speaking, like man, I don't want to jump conferences, but Houston is 6. Houston is 6, and let's say they run the table and win all 8 of these games. They're only 9.5 out of the first seed. I'm not saying that Houston about to steal the overall 1 seed, but they could get home court if that's what we calling it.
Well, Houston has to play the Mavericks, and then they go and play the Bucks. You know, the first 2 weeks, and then they play first 2 games, and then they play Portland. So they got I don't know, it should be some interesting TV. You know, you got Westbrook and Lillard going back at it August 4th. So
that's gonna be fun.
Fun.
Like, I don't have the schedule up. I just have the teams that got in.
Yeah. So the first 2 games is going to be Utah versus New Orleans, and then LA versus
LA.
Yeah, I was going to say the LA versus LA, but Clippers versus Lakers.
Let me see. In the East, right quick. Do you think Washington gets in?
No.
Nah. Yeah, me neither. I think the 8 Eastern Conference teams are set.
Yeah.
So I mean, Portland, New Orleans. The rumor is the NBA wants to rig a Pelicans-Lakers round 1. But do you think, 5 teams out of the playoffs with 8 to play, do you think any of these 9 through 13 get in the Western playoffs? I want to see Ja Morant in, so I don't want Memphis to get bounced.
I think, I don't know, man. I can see New Orleans getting in.
Yeah, they're only 3 back.
Yeah, I can see them getting in, to be honest.
See, I mean,
like I said, they have to run the table pretty quick.
Phoenix at 13. My bad. Phoenix at 13 is only 6 games out of the 8th seed.
They're so garbage, bro.
Yeah, it's like the 8th seed in the West is up for grabs.
They shouldn't even be allowed in, though.
Nah, like the Spurs and Suns really only got in because they were too close to Sacramento and New Orleans and Portland.
And I don't even think LaMarcus Aldridge is even playing.
He's not. Yeah, he's not. So the Spurs are out.
Man, to be honest, man, I don't want to see Washington in. I don't want to see Phoenix in.
I want to see Booker in the playoffs eventually. Like Devin Booker's a hooper. He's been on too many sad teams.
He's about to get traded this offseason.
Yeah, because I know he doesn't want to stay in Phoenix. And eventually DeAndre Ayton going to follow suit.
Yeah, he's about to get traded for like a king's ransom. I'm hearing he's going to get traded to New York.
Yeah, I heard that too. I wouldn't be shocked if he pushed to go to Minnesota with his boys.
Fuck no.
I'm just saying. I know that's what he wants.
Well, thing is, didn't he go to school with Julius Randle? No, he didn't go to school with Julius Randle. Never mind. But I can see Cat leaving Minnesota before Devin Booker requests to get traded. You know what I'm saying?
Even though they just got D'Lo?
Man,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they did that slam cover. They did that slam cover. D'Angelo Russell got traded, and the rumors just started flying.
I mean, I guess that would be cool. You get D'Angelo Russell and Devin Booker, and then you got Cat. I mean, that would be a dope 3.
Yeah.
You know, you can play
dope
inside,
3,
outside.
a young 3. That would be a new KG, Cassell, Latrell Sprewell.
But they don't have no dogs though. They haven't been in no.
They got rid of Jimmy Butler
easily. They don't have no. They need like a Zebo on that team or a David West type of figure on that team. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like you can't have too many. I don't even want to say prima donnas, but you can't have too many. You can't have too many light skinned dudes on your team. You need a Steven Jackson or a Tony. You know what I'm saying? You need a Tony Allen, Zebo.
Tony Allen,
you can't have too many light skinned dudes on your team, bro.
Kids go on YouTube and just search Tony Allen defensive plays, man. Like he was nasty.
It's nasty.
He was so nasty. I hated him. He was so nasty. But let me see. Do you think, like we said, neutral court, so it's all up for grabs. Once the playoffs set, do you think any of these teams in the West got a shot at stealing the finals from the Lakers or the Clippers?
Houston. I mean, of all the teams, Houston.
Yeah.
And then who even knows, man? The Clippers, playoff P, if that's what you want to call them. I don't call them that.
I don't call him that.
But who knows? He might actually this setting might work well for him.
Yeah.
Instead of an actual crowd affecting the game and last second, you know what I'm saying? This actually might be better for him, a better atmosphere for him than an 18,000 seat arena full of fans. So
yeah, man, because there's just something, I can't tell you what it is. I don't like the Nuggets.
I don't either. You know what? I like the chemistry of the team.
They got an Indiana kid or two.
I just don't want to see the Nuggets.
Yeah, they got
I don't understand. I don't have anything against the Nuggets. I just don't want to see them.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I think the Jazz are under the radar.
Yeah, it's kind of like seeing the Magic in the finals or something. You know what I'm saying? This is like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
But I heard Jokic lost like 50 pounds, bro.
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah. So, Joker slimmed down.
So I'm ready. I want to see how he looks and see if his game has changed, because if he's nimble and doing this thing, could Luka Doncic make a run?
Yeah. Because it's like
Porzingis is finally healthy.
Ain't nobody hooped since March. So aside from the injuries,
I will change that and say the Lakers have hooped since March.
In an organized NBA setting, ain't nobody hooped since March.
Like I said, LeBron's Lakers have hooped since March, guaranteed.
You right.
Like there's no way LeBron has been hooping. So of all the teams that I feel like who's ready for this, it's the Lakers.
And finally they picked up J.R. Smith.
And he's been in the gym since was last with the Cavs.
Since the Cavs waived his ass.
Yeah, but he still got the check stuff.
Fuck yeah. But what I'm saying is, aside from the announced injuries, everybody should be crispy. This is like this is unprecedented. Neutral site for everybody. There's no home court advantage. It's only 3 bullies in this whole thing. And as we saw last year, the Bucks can be upset.
I don't think the Bucks are going to be ready. I think this hurt them.
Probably.
Well, they said Giannis hasn't even been able to get into a gym.
Orlando coming for that first round upset.
No, they still trash, bro. Stop.
Fuck yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm just trying to instigate.
And then I want to see how Toronto was rolling too.
Yeah.
I think Toronto can make it to the finals.
Yeah, man. That's just like Denver, man. I don't want to see them back. That's what I was gonna close off with. Do we think Toronto has a chance to repeat?
Not repeat as champs, but repeat of making it to the finals. Yeah.
And they get swept. Cause Fred VanVleet ain't got no kid on the way this time.
Nah, it's a wrap. What's up? You know who I think might have an actual pretty good chance is the Heat.
I ain't trying to hear that.
I know it's not the LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh Heat, but
I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. Fuck the Heat, man.
Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero,
Bam. Yeah. Miami got a cool little squad. Yeah.
They have a nice little squad. I like them.
Pacers play them like game 4 and game 8 or game 3 and game 8. Man, we got to get one of those.
I don't even want to talk about the Pacers, dude. Victor Oladipo.
Vic's not playing.
Dude, I told you he's not getting paid this offseason, bro.
Vic's not playing, but we maintained without him all year. I'm not saying we gonna make a run, but I'm not saying we gonna get bullied either.
Nah, we gonna scrap. We gonna scrap.
And then man, Simon and Pritchard. Simon and Pritchard got to open that book up, man. If we lose Vic, I don't even want to talk about it.
thing for us,
Um,
bro. You come on, bro. No, you've had almost 3 additional months to get healthy, and what you mean you're not healthy?
that's what I don't understand. Like that's what I don't like. He's just being thrown into a hooping environment. Like you should have been running sprints for 4 straight months.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
And
you gonna tell me I'm gonna pay you $100+ million? No, bro.
And we're about to. The way that they think that this is about to play out, the next season starts December 1st. So that means it's going to be another short training camp. So is he going to be hesitant to jump into that short training camp and miss more games next season?
No, he's not getting paid, bro. We better not pay his ass.
Look, I was raised by Reggie Miller, then Danny Granger, then Paul George, now Victor Oladipo.
I can do without Vic. Look, like I like Vic. Don't get me wrong. I have a photo with Victor Oladipo on my damn Instagram page. Like,
good for you.
Yeah, like I met Vic. He's cool.
Oh, humble brag ass.
Like, let's just be real about the situation. As a fan, yeah, I want Vic on the team. We've
been screaming his name every time he make a play ever since IU.
Debo!
Oladipo!
America!
Are you serious?
I remember that too, dog. Oh,
hell yeah. The Del Rio days with no pandemic.
From a business management standpoint, that is not a good bet to make.
Yeah, I feel you. He got to show that he healthy.
From a business management standpoint, it does not make any sense to resign Victor Oladipo to a long-term max contract type of what he's wanting. And if you can trade him, trade him. Even if like I think we got what we could out of Vic, and we got Sabonis. Sabonis is a beast. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We gonna take the court with Brogdon. We gonna take the court. I don't know who's gonna run the 2.
Lamb is still hurt.
Lamb is still hurt. So it's either we gonna put Holiday at the point with Brogdon at the 2, T.J. Warren at the 3. And then Miles and Sabonis, and that's a starting squad.
Is he on his last year too?
Who's that?
Miles Turner.
He might be.
He's got to go too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad to see Miles walk.
No, I'm wanting to see Miles walk. Miles needs to go.
Miles needs to go.
Yeah, I can't do Miles Turner, bro.
Hey, but for this last, however long this bubble is gonna last, we need Miles to be league leader in blocks.
Seriously. Like I said, I don't know. I think this is gonna be street ball times 10. Like this is gonna be 5-on-5 pickup. To be honest,
I wouldn't be mad at a couple and one moves, throw the ball behind your back off the backboard, and then do a cartwheel, NBA street style.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I think the dominant teams in this whole thing, and I can see Ben Simmons going off in this type of environment too.
As long as he don't the very first game back.
As long as he what?
As long as he don't the very first game back, it's all good.
Oh, that's right. I'm looking at the schedule right now.
I'm a homer. I don't need Simmons hooping against my team.
Tell me why I'm mad. So, I'll get Spurs. They got people on ESPN except our ass versus the 76ers.
Yeah.
So they stay with the disrespect.
Yeah. The Pacers got no national games. There's less teams playing, but the Pacers got the same number of national games as if it was a normal season. We got an NBA TV game, which most people won't be able to see. And then we got like one national game. I think the Lakers might be our one national game.
Well, they be trying us, man.
Because we indie and we stay getting overlooked.
Yeah, TNT.
So, man, I don't.
Yeah.
If I had to.
Also, I don't want to see Utah in there. I
like the Jazz, man. The Jazz are under the radar.
Man, it's like the PGA Tour over there, bro. They got this ain't hockey. They got one brother. I'm not trying to see this. This ain't hockey.
See, like, I don't know. Like, in a way, I want to see LeBron get one with the Lakers. But whoever win this finals is gonna have that. But it was in the bubble. It was the COVID. You got the coronavirus trophy.
But still, hey, a ring's a ring's a ring.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, it's not gonna matter because of all times, everyone has the same advantage. Everyone is on the same level playing field right now.
Everybody been off the same amount of time. Everybody got to the bubble at the same time. I would like to see the Clippers get one just to like we finally got one.
Fuck Paul George.
Oh man, I want Kawhi to get that shit. And then they picked up Joakim Noah. Yeah, cool. I'm a hater though. I don't want to see Paul George get a championship.
No, I don't. No, like not at all.
But see, like, I don't think the Bucks make it to the finals. I don't think the Raptors make it to the finals. I like Brad Stevens, and he would kind of get some hate off of his back if he got the Celtics to the finals. I don't know. I think the Lakers are my pick to take it all.
Yeah, by far. They're the safest pick. Like I said, they've been in the gym. You know, I'm sure LeBron has a court in his backyard. So I'm sure
no question.
Yeah, I'm sure he has a gym in his house, to be honest. Like, let's be real about this thing. Like, I think of all teams, the Lakers have been, if not most of them, a good majority of the key players have been practicing together for the longest time. So
I hope they got a game plan in order, and I hope everybody stays healthy enough so we can actually see this shit play out. 'Cause you know, deep down, they want to hoop, and deep down they want to finish the season, but they want to do it and not get sick, and you know, that's what's most important.
Another sleeper team, bro. OKC.
Yeah, Shea Gilly.
Shoot, Chris Paul.
Shea Gilly. He about to come out there with that new Converse deal.
Chris Paul, man. I think he's a difference maker in this whole thing, to be honest.
That would be fun if they made like a sleeper run to the Western Finals.
I think of all teams, they're one of the most dangerous teams out there.
Maybe Dallas.
You got Steven Adams. I mean, if you, like I said, I don't see this as an actual NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what they selling it
like,
as.
Like I said, in terms of like 5-on-5, you got.
This is the finish of the 2019-2020 season. That's what they selling it as.
Yeah.
But this is like.
This is just hooping.
Yeah, this is just some weird in between mini season where whoever's left standing gets the NBA Finals trophy, the Bill O'Brien trophy or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wish they would have had this in Vegas, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think this would have been...
That'd have been more trouble.
No, I mean, all the bars and stuff are closed.
Yeah.
I mean, not the bars, but all the clubs are closed in Vegas, so there's no...
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But in terms of, like, being able to, like, book a whole hotel room, like, you can book a whole hotel in Vegas, help that economy out a lot more, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which, you know, ESPN is owned by Disney, Orlando. It's all connected. It's all about money.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. But I'm just like, man, it could have worked a little bit easier if it was in Vegas. But I guess since they already have like all the courts up and everything, like it makes sense. But they could have easily just rented out Mandalay Bay and have the games at the T-Mobile Arena.
That'd be fun.
You know what I'm saying? But it would. I guess you can knock out more games.
Oh man, you froze again.
You know, since they already have all the court set up.
Yeah. And what's even weaker is that some of these games start like right at 3:00. So if I'm gonna have a chance to see any of them, I'm gonna miss like the first quarter and a half of some of those real early games.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm looking at it. One second.
What you got? We about to wrap it up. Get final thoughts.
Final thoughts, man. Bro, be safe out here. That's
it.
Thought. low. I don't think all this is minuscule. In the grand scheme of things,
Like, stay in
like
no bubble. Deal with y'all little school lunch.
yeah,
Wear a
I can't
mask.
even complain, bro.
Clean them
I don't even want
hands.
to hear it. I get paid hundreds and thousands to be
Wipe down them
in
basketballs
a.
before every game. In between timeouts. And
So who you think's gonna win? There's like offhand. Give me the four teams you think are gonna be in the conference finals, and then
Lakers.
your two champions or your two teams in the finals.
All right, I want Lakers Clippers in the West. And I feel like Kawhi is going to unlock that same playoff mode he did last year. Like, even if Paul George starts bumming because he can't be that guy under the spotlight, Paul George is still going to carry. Kawhi is still going to carry these dudes. So I want to say Lakers Clippers in the West. And I know that's the lazy pick. I think I'm going to say Bucks Celtics in the East.
Mm.
I think I'm going to say Bucks Celtics in the East. And then, God, like I went straight cliche. I'm gonna say Lakers Celtics finals. Who you got?
Wow. Damn, that's a good one. That's not cliche. Usually cliche is like the Bucks and Lakers.
Like,
That's
yeah, both one seeds.
Yeah, that's the cliche.
I'm just saying for like the two most winning championship teams.
I got you.
Because I don't think Toronto has what it takes to make it back, and then I think the Bucks are gonna fold too.
Yeah. See, I went a little bit different. Just a little bit. I got Lakers, Houston.
That'd be dope. That'd be so dope.
Right. Lakers, Houston in the finals. Western Conference Finals. For the East. Ooh. I think I'll go. Bucks Heat.
Ooh.
Bucks Heat, and then I can see the Heat making it to the finals, and
I think the Heat might be
Lakers.
like the only team in the bubble that has a winning record against the Bucks.
Exactly. That's why I just did it. Now it's just like they can beat the Bucks.
Yeah, they're not scared of the Bucks.
And so I'm gonna say Lakers and Heat.
I wouldn't hate that finals matchup either.
No, but I think we all know how that would end, though.
Heat getting swept.
Yeah. Yeah, because Tyler Hero doesn't have it. I mean,
nah.
Tyler Hero couldn't do anything with JR. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like JR will cook Tyler Hero. LeBron undefeated against damn near Jimmy Butler. Yeah. So.
Man, but appreciate you jumping on with me.
Bro, always
had to move things around and had to reschedule
always.
To get it in. But when I come back, man, we gonna talk about that Skyzoo Milestones, man. It's Rec League Podcast. Yo, my dialogue consists of movie quotes and cursing. It's the world I'm immersed in. Telling bitches they look like paper in the wind when twerking. Got me smirking like Tyler Durden. I put the work in. You don't want to fight, dog. This is off of the top. I'll decapitate you when you sleeping at night, dog. I might be rude, but you just flat out impolite, dog. Can't rap to save your life, but everybody say that my bars is nice, dog. Pop my neck so much, my brain and spinal column just got to disconnect. I lack the emotional give a fuck. Just point out who I'm dissing next. Finished in the highest percentile of this hip-hop litmus test. I've been the best, you in distress. Could've just finished shopping and you still ain't never been this fresh. All right, man, we about to put a cap on this episode of Rec League Podcast. And, last episode we did that run of jewels and we kind of talked about our favorite albums of the first half of the year. If this had come out like 2 weeks earlier, this would have made mine. That Skyzoo, it's 7 tracks long. I don't want to say it's an album. I don't know if it's too long to be an EP. So it's a 7-track project. It's called Milestones, and how you broke it down to me when it first came out, it's a Boys in the Hood like concept album.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't know when this came out exactly, like what day it came out.
I want to say like the last Friday in June.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the whole point of doing this was like right around Father's Day.
Yeah.
And I had spun it like obviously Cuba Gooding Jr. and Lawrence Fishburne on the cover, but after the first spin, you know, I recognized some of the snippets, the clips or whatever from the movie background. You know, the first time you like listening to an album, like you ain't really like listening to it. I mean, you're listening to it, but so I had to listen to it again and again and again until I finally picked up and realized how dope it was. But like first spin through, I was like, okay, solid project or whatever. The production on it was nice, super chill production.
Yeah, so, I love these beats.
I think I know Illmind's got at least one on there because I read an interview about the album or the EP, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But the production on it is like super chill, super laid back, right up Skyzoo's alley, if you ask me. Yeah, so we're a couple of weeks late. I don't know if we call it an album either. So I don't know if it'll make the list, but it's kind of like that Black Thought when he dropped that EP.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, and everybody's like, "Yo, that's the album of the year," and I'm like, hey, "Is it an album though? I don't know." It's like no project, but
all due respect, it's not an album.
Yeah, so it's seven tracks, but it's really technically only 6 songs. The last song, Duly Noted, it's kind of like a spoken word type thing, which Skyzoo is known for doing. Like I'm pretty sure he does that on pretty much just about every album. He'll have a couple tracks on there. I mean, you could tell this dude's a writer. I mean, his freaking name is like Skyzoo the Writer. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what his.
I think that's his Instagram handle.
Yeah, I think it's his social media handle. It's Skyzoo the Writer. So I mean, the dude is like a legit writer. Like
lyricist, yeah.
Lyrics, not only that, but he's supposedly ghostwritten for a lot of people. And like poetry, like I said, spoken word. Like you can tell, like this dude is a legit writer. Like it's what he loves. It's his passion.
But yeah, you got early on, you got Trey in the classroom before he goes to live with his dad, where he's goofing off in class, and the teacher calls him up front. And he's talking about the first man came from Africa, and gets in that fight, and that leads up into like Turning 10, which I think we both agree is like our favorite track on the whole thing. And then you got the Lawrence Fishburne, Angela Bassett back and forth for a little bit. Why you making it so easy? And you wanted your son, you got him. And like, I recently watched the movie, so the movie's fresh in my mind to go along with this project. And like, it fits, it rides perfect. Cause like Fury Styles is such a dope character. Like he's, I guess for today's youth, he's woke and he's like responsible and takes care of so he's trying to raise Trey, who becomes Cuba Gooding Jr. and try for him to like make better decisions and everything. And Skyzoo relates a lot of that to how he came up. And it's real dope parallels.
Yeah, I mean it's clear from the get go what the album is about. It's about fatherhood in the Black community. But also, man, like you know me, like I grew up. My parents were divorced, so I always saw my dad on the weekends. I was blessed. My dad was in my life. Like he was always there. He was like a real dad.
Your dad was always in my life too.
Yeah, huh? Yeah.
Your dad was always in my life too.
Yeah, I lived with my mother growing up. Your family situation. I don't know if you've spoken on camera before or not, so I'm not gonna put you on blast or whatever.
I don't know.
I mean, I'll let you touch on that if you want to or whatever. So I know this album, resonates with both of us.
Yeah, for sure.
So like this is like. It's actually a plague, man, in lower income neighborhoods. Families grow up without fathers, man. Unfortunately, I'm actually dating a girl right now who has a son. He's about to be 3 and has no contact with his father at all. So it's like, it's like heartbreaking, like when you see this shit, because it's hard on kids, man, especially growing up. And like you heard it in the skit from the movie. You know what I mean? Like at least I got one, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like a lot of kids, like you make fun of other kids that ain't got dads. But, you don't, it's not only until you get older you start to realize, like, how important they really are.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I call this album, I think it's why I call this project Milestones. Because I think it's more like, progression through life. You grow up as a kid or whatever, then, like, you would have your own kids, and then you realize, like, like, I have the most important job. And it's in terms of, like, this is just in terms of, like, having sons.
Being there for a kid is an accomplishment.
Yeah, so I'm not like trying to like leave the ladies out, moms and daughters out. But this is basically what the album is about. You know what I mean? Young men and their fathers.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Memory Serves Me is the first one. At Least I Got One is track number 2. Turning 10 is probably my favorite track on there. It's about basically more or less like he's giving advice to all of his friends. Like if you got an ex, you got a son with your ex, like I don't care what's going on. The best thing for your son is when the kid turns 10, like he's got to go move in with his dad.
They teach him how to be a man. Yeah.
Like I can talk about in the movie, Skyzoo, he's reflecting that same thing on all these songs. Like you can tell like he fully believes in these ideas too. He mentioned something about you get your emotions from your mother, but you get everything else from me. You know what I mean? Like basically,
Yeah.
We've all seen the movie, like Mom and Lawrence Fishburne saying, like, only a father can teach a son how to be a man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I believe that 100% because I think my mom did a hell of a job raising us. But like I said, my father was in the picture. So I mean, you can turn out not having a father around, but it's very rare. And it just goes. If that's the case, that goes to show you the type of mother that you had, in my opinion.
For sure.
But track number 4, Duffel Bag, Weekends, kind of like a double entendre type thing. You know what I mean? He's thinking like duffel bag. I'm hip hop album, like okay, he's talking about getting the bag, but no, he's actually talking about packing his clothes and going to live with his other parent on the weekend. In this case, he's talking about every weekend he's packing up his green people bag. His mom.
Yeah.
See, when I was growing up, it was opposite. Like I'm packing every weekend to go stay with my dad. So that's a real dope track to me. It resonated with me. And then you got Eyes Wide Shut, track number 5. And then
that's about Tom Cruise and some weird ass Scientology shit.
Yeah.
No,
then number 6, technically the last track on here, or last song,
Tribute.
It's a song for fathers. I love this song, dude. It might actually, now that I say it out loud, that might be my favorite song on here. He's just basically giving props to his dad, saying like all the stuff that his dad used to tell him, like when he was a kid, like he understands that shit now, like he fully gets it.
Yeah.
How it all comes full circle, and I think that's why he calls it Milestones. Man, I think it's a progression to a young man's life, all the way up to adulthood, up to fatherhood. Then you got Duly Noted at the end, where it's kind of like a spoken word type thing. But yeah, this is a dope ass project, man.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a solid 4, maybe 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like right now, I say it's a 4, but like don't be surprised if I'm like, yo, this is like a 4.5.
Yeah.
This is a dope ass project. And Skyzoo is like one of my favorite artists.
Skyzoo's cold.
I don't know, man. I don't know why he doesn't get the attention I think that he deserves. He kind of falls into that under the radar, dope ass MC that like I feel like there's a bunch of rappers like in a room and like well respected mainstream rappers, and they were talking about all their favorite rappers. And this is like a cliche thing to say, like I'm a favorite rapper.
Yeah.
I seriously think Skyzoo would get brought up a lot.
Word to Jeezy.
I think he would get brought up a lot. And I put him kind of in the same category as Planet Asia. Like I feel like this dude is so slept on, or so overlooked. I don't know, maybe slept on is a bad word, but I think he just gets overlooked and doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
Yeah.
So I definitely put them in that category. And Skyzoo, man, he's one of my favorite artists. Like every time I know Skyzoo's got a project coming out, my ears perk up because I know he's one of the best doing it, honestly.
And I don't want to wrap it up before you talk about what you said you was going to force into the conversation before we got up out of here. What we going to talk about next episode?
Yeah, next episode, we, as far as the hip-hop music section, we'll probably be talking about that Apollo Brown. I don't think Apollo Brown is Shay Noir. I'm pretty sure. I know her name is Shay, but the Noir, I'm assuming it's Noir. Dope-ass album came out this past Friday. Apollo Brown, like I'm all for it. One thing I like about Apollo Brown is like he don't just work with A-list rappers. This dude works with everybody. And this is Shay's. This is her debut album. So yeah, I'm super excited to talk about this project because I like it a lot. And as far as like anything else that came out, like I think that Eminem had a single come out with Kid Cudi. That was cool.
Oh yeah. I was gonna bring that up before we started talking about this Skyzoo, but I think it was okay.
Yeah, I thought M Snap did his thing, but it's nothing like what I mean. Like it probably won't even make a playlist on my I doubt it'll make a playlist. Like it's cool, you know what I mean? It's cool. It was cool trying to talk about it. Did you hear Eminem? Like, yeah, it's cool. You hear me say fuck Drew Brees? Like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kid Cudi's always been like whatever to me. Like he's a dope artist, just not really my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything bad to say about him. And then I guess Juice WRLD came out with a album. Pop Smoke came out with an album. So there's been some other albums that come out, but they're not really our cup of tea. Like a lot of that, the newer like mainstream stuff. Like I don't. If you guys watch this podcast, like
right, you know what we listen to.
Yeah, you pretty much got an idea of the kind of hip hop and shit that we listen to. I'm not gonna knock those artists.
Everything's got its audience.
Yeah, I mean, there's a flavor out there for everybody. It's just not really my flavor. So like I said, there's been crazy albums that come out in the past couple of weeks. It's, like you said, Skyzoo not really an album, but shit, it's a dope ass project. Yeah. It's a super dope project. But 2020's been low key dope for hip hop.
For music, yeah.
Nobody says.
But man, I want you guys on the comments. I want y'all in the comment section, man. I want y'all on the voice message if you listening on the audio only, man. Let us know some of your favorite movie directors. Let us know how you think this NBA bubble situation about to play out. And if you listen to this Skyzoo, man, let us know. So sit back and chill until the next episode.